name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I'm recording this in the dim mist of the past. This is being recorded on Friday, April 29th. I just want, and it's supposed to go out on Saturday because I want this to be a daily thing. And you know, I don't go online. I don't use technology on Saturdays. It being the Sabbath for down my neck of the woods. A lot of you do it on Sunday. We do it on Saturday. That's just the way we roll, baby. That's just the way we roll. And I want this to be a daily, like a daily workshop, right? A daily workshop to supercharge your connection to God. Wouldn't that be nice? Hopefully. So we're working through this series, the 6 constant mitzvahs. A mitzvah is a commandment. These are commandments in the Bible, and these are commandments that are designed to generate the connection to the God that God wants you to have, which is quite a profound one, if I may say so. Yeah, it's definitely quite a profound one. The first one of these six constant commandments was faith. It was the first of the 10 commandments, and now we're on to the second one, which is don't have any other God before you. So the third of these is God is one, right? There is nothing other than God. Nothing other than God. So if there's nothing other than God, why would you possibly need a commandment telling you don't have any other gods in front of you? Like, there's no other gods, none whatsoever. And if you find any, don't put any in front of me. Wait a minute, you just said there weren't any. Yeah, that's right. But aren't you God? Yeah, that's right. But if I find something, so that was a little bit confusing. So that's the confusion where we started. Can I actually hit the like button, the share button, the subscribe button? All those things are fan-dabby double dozy. Thank you very much. I'm very, very appreciative for all of you doing that, especially here when I'm in exile on my exile channel. The Rabbi's Holiday Planet. I think Dan from Facebook named it that. Thank you very much, Dan. That's what I can say. Like, share, subscribe, comment, sign up my Substack, sign up my pay Substack. I don't know if the apocalypse is coming, but if you are supporting me financially, that may benefit you, unless of course the Biden side of things are the ones that are right. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Fine. So we are on page 97 in today's lesson. Our brief overview of what idol worship was. Essentially, they said initially people, the early man, like second or third generation man, they said that, obviously God created the world, but he also created the sun and the stars. We should give them honor too. And then eventually from that, they were able to imbue into them some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Supernatural powers by using dark magic. And so if you worship them, they would give you what you wanted. Not so much anymore. But the idol worship started because God created the heavens and the earth, and we thought we should honor the heavens and the earth as well. Didn't work out well. A brief overview of idolatry should leave us with a question. Granted, we should not be serving gods for our own purposes, but what is evil about it? If those who worship idols realize that God created them and enabled them to work, why does the rabbi, the Rambam, who was one of our great thinkers from about the Middle Ages, 15th century? And look, there's the Rambam and the Ramban, and one was like 14th century, and one was 15th century, and one was 15th century. I don't know. Listen, I'm not a guy who kind of who remembers, minuta like that. If it's written down in a book somewhere, I'm like, fine, look it up, leave me alone. Right? I connect much more with ideas, which does get me in trouble more often than not. But anyway, yeah, listen, if somebody's saying, I worship this, obviously Hashem is the creator of the universe, obviously God is the creator of the universe, and we want to honor his emissaries. What's wrong with that, right? I mean, that doesn't seem to be have a downside. Imagine living in that area, imagine living in that era and in an area suffering from a drought. And knowing that by bowing down to the right stone at the right day and the right way, you would likely cause the rain to fall. And you realize that God created the stone's ability to provide you with rain, right? Why would you be considered evil for programming the stone to give you rain? I mean, like you're thirsty and you turn on the faucet and you get water, right? That's not really. I mean, I guess you shouldn't worship the faucet. That would be silly. The answer to this question lies in the deeper definition of the commandment of don't have any other gods before God, and an understanding of how it relates to the first commandment we went over, faith. According to our definition of faith, one must believe that there is a purpose to creation and seek to participate in bringing that purpose to fruition, right? Don't take that as mean you got to go and burn down everybody's house or beat them up, right? Just be a nice person. That's basically what they're saying. Let's try and be nice to each other. When we focus our attention on causing the rain to fall or grain to grow, we divert our attention from that goal. Okay, but we gotta live. Yeah, you gotta get grain to grow. That's not suggest that we can survive without rain and livelihood, but we would see the necessities as a means to an end, not as an end in themselves. Okay, so viewing the necessities of life as an end end instead of a means a means will lead to grave errors. I think okay, so I think I know where he's going with this. He's saying that essentially, are you living to eat or are you eating to live, right? Like, what's the point? Are you living to eat? Everybody says, well, obviously I'm eating to live, right? Obviously I'm eating to live. I'm not living to eat. And he says, okay, so, you talk to a student, what are you doing with life? I said, I'm going to go to college. Okay, that's great. What are you going to do there? Going to study, I don't know, business, farming, whatever, right? And what are you going to do? So why are you doing that? So I can get a good job. Okay, that's fantastic. So what, you get out of college, you apply for your job, what do you do then, right? What do you do then? He said, well, I go to work, right? I said, okay, that's good. And why do you go to work? Well, because I need money. So what do you need money for? Well, I got to eat. So it sounds like you are living to eat rather than eating to live. If that's it, why does God create us to have a need for money, have a need for food, right? Have a desire for pleasant tasting food? Why does God do that? Right, I think that's what they're trying to draw our attention to. Sometimes God says you can't have what you think you need, right? And you've got to subjugate your idea and your will to God's. And God says, I think you need to starve to death. And I'm like, I don't think I need to starve to death. And God's like, nah, I think you need to starve to death. And I'm like, well, if I just bow down this rock over here, I don't have to. He said, but God said, yeah, it's not so good for you, right? So it's an extreme example, right? It's an extreme example, but that's the I think the idea he's getting at. If financial success is a goal, why not utilize any means possible to attain that goal? Why not advance monetary aspirations by engaging the powers of impurity? Tell you, as well as making a few bob, it's always little bit of fun to engage in the powers of impurity. I would, don't do that at home, kids. But if you do, clean up after yourselves. If we internalize the lesson of faith and not having other gods, and consider growing closer to God through self-perfection as our only goal, we have no use for systems that involve no growth, and we certainly do not engage in activities that will distance us from God. The contrast between growth-based efforts and result-based efforts is clear in this approach to receiving rainfall, which focuses on exclusively the prayer. In our main prayer, we call the Shemona Esrei, these 18 blessings, actually 19 blessings, we recite the prayer praising God as the giver of rain, and during the winter, we ask for rain 3 times daily, right? As we do. Prayer, unlike bowing to a stone, is a way of forging a close personal relationship with God, which is part and parcel of the purpose of the world. In fact, the Bible states that the rain did not fall after the creation until man prayed for it. I did not know that, right? It's amazing what I don't know. Now all the trees of the fields were not yet on the earth, and the herb of the field, this is when was it? Genesis chapter 2, verse 5. Now the trees of the field were not yet on the earth, and the herb was not in the field, had not yet sprouted, for God had not sent rain upon the earth. There was no man there to work the soil. Okay, so I guess as the only reason send rain if you need a person there. A commentator on this, Rashi, Rabbi Shimon Islis, I believe, a wine merchant. If you're ever looking for kosher wine, Rashi wine is pretty darn good. Why not? Not because the rain could not fall without man's prayers, but because man needed the spiritual connection that would be forged by turning to God to fulfill his needs. Yeah, but there's a reason why God made us completely dependent upon him, so we would turn to him, because it's that important that we have this relationship with God. So faith should cause us to grow closer to God, to rely on Him and only Him. As we have seen, we require to engage in a certain amount of effort. We can't just say, well, just send me and play with a truck full of gold bars, God. That'd be nice, to provide ourselves with to provide for ourselves. But when executed properly, effort does not conflict with our reliance on God. We just know this is part of the equation of survival, right? So not having any other gods beforehand requires us to remain focused on our relationship with God and his purpose in the world, and not abandon it in favor of solutions to our problem that ignore those goals, right? Again, the goal of God is to bring the world to perfection. The goal of God is for you to attain ultimate happiness, right? Ultimate joy. And you can only do that through growth, and growth often comes with a fair bit of suffering. Ignore those goals. Idolatry is evil because it causes us to forget God and the purpose in the world. Okay. Got another page and so to go. Idolatry, practical, comfortable, and meaningless. Well, it depends what if we're going back to engaging in powers of impurity, it's got quite a bit of meaning to me, mate. Don't know about you. How does this relate to our times? Well, the Bible's capital punishment for idolatry does not apply to our beliefs and practices which we'll discuss below. It's unacceptable. The unacceptable rationale underlying idolatry exists in modern times as well. A glance at modern society reveals the world is focused on practical solutions that make life simple. We no longer know how to utilize the powers of impurity to manipulate nature. I love the way they keep saying powers of impurity. Listen, I may not know how to manipulate the powers of impurity, but I'm willing to give it a go, mate. I'm willing to give it a go. No, I'm not. Manipulator, but we do know how to press buttons that will make our lives flow more smoothly and practically. Yeah, essentially, I would say in this world, the power of magic has been replaced. Dark magic. The power of magic has been replaced by the power of technology. That's what I think the fall of Afghanistan in August 2021 is very analogous to the plague of blood, the first of the 10 plagues. It had the function of utilizing a force that the Egyptians had complete power of, because they were a world power. They were the world power, right? And they were completely evil, but they had the complete world power, and they I was going to say they were well, but a tiny group of slaves, of powerless slaves, were able to utilize it in a way far better than them, and basically give them give themselves a complete victory. Seems very similar to the Taliban taking out the U.S. military, and also getting $70 billion worth of arms from them. I mean, that was really not good, was it? That we can say that was not very good. So we have buttons to make what license. So that we do not so we don't think about God. Yeah, the technology helps us. Yeah, when you don't have to rely on God, when you can just go to the store and get yourself a pint of milk, rather than have to go out and milk the goat. It's like, there's a lot of effort that we don't have to do in it. So it's very easy for us to forget God's there, because back then you needed God for freaking everything, just to walk down the street. Well, you still do need to have God for everything, but it's more veiled in this world, this world of technology. In place of a deadly stone, we now have a microwave. Whereas the ancestors would toil for a month while praying to God all the way for rain and successful growth of the crops, we can fill our need for food by ordering it from the supermarket and popping it into the microwave. Most of our children have no idea how food is grown, how meat is processed, or how grain is harvested and turned into bread. Well, I think we're all going to find out the next year when the famine comes. Man, it's things. I mean, really, you really don't think this is the end of days? I think so. The future may well bring with it a system that will be able to detect one's moods, select the dish they want from the freezer, send it to the microwave, and have it delivered for them in bed. Well, this sounds pretty good. I mean, look, when you put it that way, I think I might be on board, right? This might be a winner for me. Who created technology? God. The secret that led to the invention of the microwave and all other miracles of modern technology existed since creation, just as the elements of black magic did. But later we were known immediately after. But the latter was known immediately after creation, and the former took 5 millennia to discover. Fair enough. The source is the same God. The source of both magic and technology is the same God, and the problem with idolatry exists in our times in the form of technology. I would say this is a minor form of idolatry, but I think we saw it a lot last year. It says, "Listen, you got to believe the science. You don't. Are you a science denier?" And people who generally speaking hate God always use the word science denier until it doesn't suit them. Until it turns out everything we were told in the name of science turned out to be bullcrap in terms of the pandemic. And then we have the scientific reality that we're not allowed to point out that sex and gender are intrinsically related for the vast majority of all human beings, right? Not even that sex matters anymore, right? Biological sex is completely irrelevant. Again, how can this not be the end of days when we have somebody competing in women's swimming with clearly has a quite sizable penis, right? Clearly has quite sizable penis, smiling, grinning away because they won the race. I would say won it. If they're physically male, they won it by cheating, right? I mean, what's going to be next? This guy's going to go on a swimming race with the under 4s. Like, see, I beat them. I'm the best. It's really pathetic, right? It's really, truly pathetic. Fine. So God created technology, so he created magic. The source of the shame. Is this what life is about? Have we been swept off our feet with the powerful wave pursuit of comfort and pleasure to the extent that we now view that as the end instead of the means? I think that's kind of wild because this was written. How many years ago was this written? Let's see if they got the publication date. Because it's got. I mean, nobody could have predicted things would progress as quickly as they did. What's it? Where would they keep the date? Do you think? Let's go over here. 2009. So this is 13 years old. Could they have predicted in a million years? Did God create us to have to find a way to lie in bed to be served? Idol worship, whether the ancient version or the modern one, does not necessarily mean denial of God as the creator or sustainer of the systems of nature. What it does mean is worship and utilization of those systems in the pursuit of practical, comfortable, but an empty life. Right. Listen, you have to understand the context of why you're doing it. Why do I want food, right? Why do I want food? Because I want to live and I want to serve God, right? I want to be the best me I can be. Why do I want? Am I living to eat? Am I eating to live, right? Why do you want? If you're just eating to live, then you're still in the trap of idolatry, right? You're seeing it as an end of itself, but it's not. It's a means to an end, and that their end is always connecting to God, having a closer relationship with God. What does it mean to put an empty life? The first step in fulfilling "don't have any other gods before me" requires us to ask ourselves: are we pursuing growth and meaning? Well, if you want to listen to this and you're still here, I would say probably, yeah, growth and meaning, success and comfort. Are we living for the intended purpose of creation, or are we spending our precious years on earth trying to manipulate the systems that God has installed in nature to our own advantage? The Bible's warning not to serve idols is as relevant today as it was in ancient times. It commands us not only not to become mired in life that is practical and comfortable, but meaningless. So I will say that's the first. That's the first part of not having any other gods before you. Like just people worship comfort. People worship convenience, and they're nice things, and we really like them. Do you remember they used to have that that tagline for 7-Up? Was it 7-Up or Sprite? Obey your thirst, or something like that. And I remember seeing that going, no, don't obey your thirst. Your thirst has to obey you, right? I think that's the more proper way of doing things. So there we go. This is day 14. I do not know what's going on day 15 because, as I said, I'm not even up there yet. You are in the future. I'm in the past. I hope it's better where you are, and you're probably saying, you know what, it's better where you are. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.